Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming up to you today with news of the new UK Championship. This news was broke by Triple H during a press conference yesterday over in the UK. I will honestly tell you right off the bat that I am not a real big follower of the UK wrestling scene. Here in the YWC, there are not a lot of people that do talk about the UK wrestling scene that I follow, that I subscribe to. I think that honestly, two of the only people that I know of that tweet constantly about what's going on over in the UK would be some guys that I meet up with at WrestleMania each and every year. Neither of them make wrestling videos anymore, and of course that would be Robbie Rebel as well as Ollie Harper, which I wish they still made videos. I wish we were back in 2010 or 2011 and would really be able to find out what this UK Championship is going to mean. They had a big press conference that had Finn Balor was there, Michael Cole was there, William Regal was there, as well as Triple H, everyone giving their insights, as well as the freshly signed and brought into WWE, Nigel McGuinness. WWE really won over the ROH, I guess you can say, management scene, even though Nigel McGuinness was only the on-screen sort of commissioner GM role. That's a big hole that ROH is going to be having to fill. I don't really know what Nigel McGuinness's role is going to be. It was rumored that he was signing with WWE to go to the Performance Center and be some sort of a coach there. That is what Steve Corino is going to be doing, but I don't know if they're also going to be using him for on-screen sort of commentary for the UK tournament that'll be going down in January on the WWE Network. I can honestly tell you that I think that this is a really cool idea to crown the UK champion in the tournament. Obviously, over the summer, the Cruiserweight Classic really was one of the highlights of 2016 for WWE. It gave WWE Network subscribers a real show to follow. It was must-see television. Honestly, in my opinion, when the Cruiserweight Classic took off, it is sort of when NXT sort of took a step backwards. I don't know if that's because of so many people were brought up to the main roster over this last year with basically, the whole women's division, as well as Finn Balor, who is sort of the heart and blood of the NXT division, or maybe, I don't want to call it the company, but sort of, I guess you can say the NXT brand. Would probably be the best way to do it. Samoa Joe is there. Of course, this year we had Nakamura come over from New Japan Pro Wrestling as the champion. I'm not going to knock it, but when Nakamura wrestles, it's must-see television, and he was wrestling on NXT television almost on a weekly basis. But it was sort of like that was really the only thing that was going on that was must-see with NXT. My thoughts are, what is this UK Championship going to mean once this tournament is over? Obviously, at the end, when TJ Perkins won the Cruiserweight Classic, he was handed the Cruiserweight Championship, which was a last-minute addition. We knew that the Cruiserweights were going to be coming to Monday Night Raw in some capacity, and here they are. They have their own division, but not only that, they're going to have their champion. And then they came on to Monday Night Raw, and people thought it was going to be this huge, overwhelming success. And honestly, you can tell that when they do one Cruiserweight match on Monday Night Raw, people respond to it. But then by the second one, I don't know if it's because the characters aren't really, followed, and people don't know who they are, but the crowd turns on them to the point where people are chanting for CM Punk to return to WWE during the matches. Obviously, when you look at the history of the, I guess it's not the UK Championship, but the European title. The European title was created and was given to Davey Boy Smith by winning a tournament over Owen Hart. And every time that WWE would go to the UK, Davey Boy Smith, who was a big star there, was treated as if he was almost the WWE champion. That all changed during the Shawn Michaels versus Davey Boy Smith match at... I believe it's one night only or something like that. And the European Championship almost turned into a power play for Shawn Michaels. Um, it was well known that even though Davey Boy Smith wasn't going to get a clean finish over Shawn Michaels, Davey Boy Smith was going to keep the European Championship that night. I mean, he came to the ring. He even, sort of, dedicated this match to his, I believe, his wife, or maybe it was his sister, somebody in the family that was having some, I believe, cancer problems, I believe is what it was. It's been a while. I haven't watched this match in a long time. I only remember hearing a review of this not that long ago because of the Brian and Vinny show on Figure 4 online and WrestlingObserver.com. It's one of my favorite podcasts that they do is on Tuesdays with Brian, Vinny, and Craig. They review Nitro and Raw from, I believe, 20 years ago. And they talked about this whole thing that went down. And basically, Shawn power played Vince McMahon that he wanted to win the match. Shawn, being the bigger star at the time, got to win the match, became the European champion. It became a championship that just basically he held. He didn't defend it. He didn't do anything with it. At least when Davey Boy had it, I mean, there would be matches on Monday Night Raw. They weren't drawing ratings or they weren't, creating pay-per-view buys. But at least he was defending it. And I don't remember Shawn ever really defending it until the match against Triple H, which would be somewhere around Christmas of '97, where Sergeant Slaughter thought he was going to outsmart DX by making them fight each other. And, the people that were watching at home basically thought that Slaughter had won one over. And then once they hit the ring, they had that comedy style match where I think Michaels laid down and gave the championship to Triple H. And for, at least you can say at least a year, the European title was treated as if it was a step down from the Intercontinental Championship, but it wasn't the trash that it became later on before Eric Bischoff, I believe in around 2001, 2002, decided that he was going to merge all the championships together. And getting rid of the European title was honestly one of the best moves that he ever did. Highlights of the European Championship would be, in my mind, when Shane McMahon won it from X-Pac and made that match at WrestleMania 15 honestly really mean something. Besides for the fact that they had some heat between each other, it was X-Pac really wanted to be the European champion. I talked about this online. I really thought that some of the low points of the European Championship were guys like The Godfather, DLo Brown, Al Snow. My buddy Above Average Muda, he said that DLo Brown was a good European champion. I remember when he came out and he was sort of dressed up as if he came from a different country of Europe each and every week. I guess I don't really remember him ever really defending the title and having matches that really meant anything. So once this is over, my guess is that the guys from the UK tournament would come to SmackDown since Cruiserweights went to Raw. And I mean, are a whole bunch of guys coming or just a few guys? When are they to defend this championship? How do they defend the championship? Can somebody from America, can they challenge for the UK title? Or is it, you have to be born there or you have to have some sort of ancestors that go back to being from the UK? Finn Balor said that this is going to be the best tournament to bridge indie wrestling as well as WWE. There's also some thought that maybe WWE is going to be creating its own UK television show, which I'm guess is going to be having to be shot here in America and then just shown over there. I don't see them going over there and filming TV once a month or anything like that, but anything could happen. I mean, WWE is a worldwide television company. It's not out of their mind to just send some people over there to record the guys that already live there wrestling matches and building something there. If they're able to put Raw and SmackDown on in the UK, they'd obviously be able to book something and put something together for them to have matches on television. But I don't know. There's still a lot more questions in my mind about this. I'm guessing that I don't think they talked about this on Observer, and if they did, maybe I need to go back and listen to it because I really honestly don't know anything about it. that much, other than they're having this tournament. It's going to be in January. They put the championship up there. In my mind, the championship sort of is a copy and paste of every other championship that they have. It looks just like the WWE Championship. It looks just like the Women's Championship. It has a different face, but obviously side plates are a big deal, and being able to sell side plates for different wrestlers, past and present, that hold the championship is something that's going to make a lot of money. It is branding for the company. So we'll have to see what this means. But obviously, to me, this isn't a championship that I want to see Finn Balor wrestling for. If Finn Balor is going to be wrestling for a championship, I want it to be for the Universal or for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Those are the two belts that I want to see a guy like Finn Balor, my main event guy, going for. But we'll have to see. Hopefully I can find some people who live over in the UK that actually care about UK wrestling, that think it's a big deal that these guys are signing deals to wrestle for WWE, and what they think this is going to be in the long run. So that's the video that I'm looking for. Peace out. I'll see you guys down the road.